President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, my name is Ubasani. I represent Kaduna Central. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to lead the debate on the general principle of the Federal College of Forestry Technology and Research, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 26 November 2019. Forests are critical to human survival. They provide social and economic benefits. Their contribution to the overall economy of our country are enormous. The forest sector provides employment. There is the processing and trade of forest products and energy. The contributions of forests to national development include the hosting and protection of sites and landscapes of high cultural, spiritual, and recreational value. Maintaining and enhancing these functions is an integral part of sustainable forest management. The forestry sector is interrelated with other sectors such as agriculture, natural resources management, education, tourism and infrastructure, and trade. The management of forests is a matter of high public importance in a country like Nigeria and has substantial forest resources. The policies governing such management may determine in the long run a nation's economic survival. A heavy responsibility therefore rests on forest officers to provide public understanding of the importance of forests and to develop public support for necessary legal and administrative measures to ensure sound management of forests. It is important for foresters to have cutting-edge education. Forestry as a profession is becoming increasingly complex. Forestry now draws extensively upon the physical sciences and engineering, upon biology and applied ecology, and upon social sciences of economics and resource management. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the establishment of the Federal College of Forestry Technology and Research, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State, is therefore an important step in upscaling the knowledge and skills of our forest managers to keep pace with advances in forestry research and technology. Some of the objectives of college as outlined in the bill are: A, to carry out research, training, extension, and dissemination of findings in forestry technology, development, applied science, commerce, and management. B, to improve genetic resources of forest trees and ecosystem for economic development. C, to research on the control of pests and diseases of forest trees. D, to conduct research into the different suitable biological materials and appropriate methods of control of ecological and environmental problems of the country in respect to desertification, soil erosion, and deforestation. E, to make suitable arrangements for the application of the results of research work by the federal, state governments, and private sector for the economic development of Nigeria. F, to carry out such other fields of applied learning relevant to the needs of the development of Nigeria in the areas of industrial and agricultural production and distribution, and for research in the development and adaptation of forestry techniques, as the Council may from time to time determine. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, if Nigeria is to become one of the world leading economies as is currently being pursued by this administration, we must be ready to commit adequate funds to some critical sectors of the economy, amongst which education is one of the most critical. Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the Federal College of Forestry Technology and Research, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State, when established, will bring about significant developments and ideas in many facets of forestry, which include but is not limited to economics, education, communication, entomology, pathology, fire, forest, ecology, geospatial technologies, history, international forestry, measurement, policy, recreation, silviculture, social sciences, soil and hydrology, urban and community forestry, utilization engineering, and wildlife management. The college will also make significant contributions to economic diversification through expanding the frontier of agroforestry, especially now that cashew, shearwater, mango, guava, among others, are becoming prominent in our export and local industrial crops. I therefore urge Mr. President and my respected colleagues to support that this bill be read the second time. In line with Order 77.3 of Senate Standing Rules, Orders 2015 as amended, a compendium of the financial implications of the establishment of Federal College of Forestry Technology and Research, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State, is hereby attached.
Distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Danjuma. I rise to support this motion raised by my colleagues and to assure you that this motion is a very beautiful motion, a very beautiful bill. I second the bill so that everybody makes sure that we support this bill in order to establish this federal forestry. It is for all, and everybody will learn very, very well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, I rise to support this bill for the second reading as presented by Senator Obasani. And to say that from my experience, I think Kaduna State should be encouraged in this regard. I say this because I'm aware of the effort they have been making in the last 4 years to help propagate not just seedlings, but also to come up with a system of ensuring that these seedlings are planted. Mr. President, about 3 years ago, the state government sent out an advertisement looking for help to produce about 2.5 million seedlings. And I personally attended the launching of that initiative in Kaduna State and was very impressed. Secondly, Mr. President, I think an institute like this would help the country preserve most of its indigenous trees, which are slowly being lost to deforestation and illegal logging. A lot of us may not be aware that some of the trees that are indigenous to this country or our locality that we knew by name as children can hardly be found anywhere now. So if we set up an institute such as this, I believe that they would help in preserving the genetic material and help propagate and bring back some of these indigenous trees that are slowly being lost. Trees that have medicinal properties, trees that we all grew and played with as young men that can no longer be found. And thirdly, Mr. President, I believe that an institute such as this would not just focus on development of material, but also how to ensure that this material developed in our nurseries is planted sustainably. At the moment, less than 10% of what is planted in all these tree planting campaigns survives to maturity. So I think in supporting this bill, Mr. President, will ensure that we put a very firm foundation for tackling what is becoming a very serious problem in afforestation.
I rise to support this bill in totality because the deforestation that is happening towards especially the northwest to North Central is becoming very alarming. And with an institution like this, there will be more efforts at preserving the forestries we have. And then the economic importance, just as the earlier speaker said, it's very important, because if we conserve our forestry, there are a lot of benefits that come with it. And then the issue of security also, especially around Birnin Gwari, which is the location of the Kamuku forest. And the Kamuku forest is like a belt which starts from Zamfara State to Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, up to New Busa. So with the institution located in Birnin Gwari, I believe that it will also give light back to Kamuku Forest, whereby the bandits will not be able to also have a hidden place, because that place will be made busy. I rise then to support this bill in totality, and I believe that my colleagues will also support it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I remain Senator I.D. Gyang, and I rise to support the passage of this bill on second reading that has to do with the establishment of this college on forestry, technology, and research. And to say that how we manage our ecosystem, and in particular the current challenges of climate change, requires that we, as a matter of deliberate policy, invest in forestry technology and research so that we can train scholars, experts, and personnel in this special field. We know that there has been efforts in this country like the Green Belt Initiative intended to check desertification, further calls for the need for us to train experts in forestry and forest management so that this laudable initiative, like the Green Belt Initiative, can have the kind of a personnel that will man and manage it. I therefore support the passage of this bill on second reading so that we have this institution that will serve in advancing our quest of human capital development in the critical area of forestry, technology, and research. I support the passage of the bill on second reading. Thank you.
The song say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of
Second reading.
a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Forestry, Technology and Research, Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State, to provide full-time courses in forestry, technology, preservation, development, and other fields of studies, and to make provisions for the general administration of the college and for other related matters therewith. 2020 second reading taken, and is referred to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund to report back within 4 weeks.